Okay, so I know I try and do the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 reactions at the beginning of the week, and the episode is up. I just haven't watched it yet, but I really wanted to do the review for this anime as quickly as possible, because ever since I saw the finale on Saturday, I just wanted to talk about it and just get what I have to say out. And also, this is my channel where I do things my way, except for the part where I'd like to put up pictures of naked women because YouTube said no. But basically, today we are talking about Kiznaiver. It is a 2016 anime. It just wrapped up, so maybe someone will think this review is going up a little too quick and preemptively, but this one really was a thinker, and it was really an anime that kind of reminded me what attracts me to anime and what makes me seek it out. The thing is that when it comes to anime versus like American TV, I feel like anime as a whole takes more risks and is more ambitious and tries for crazier ideas and tries to do more interesting things. Not to say there isn't a lot of great TV from here in America or in England, or actually these are kind of the only three countries that really have any effect on world television. But for the most part, I feel anime especially, and maybe it's because since it's animated, there's not as much money that needs to get spent. So you can just let creators do what they want. Also, you need to rely more on your animators and your writers to get you through it. So I feel like the studio interference doesn't get as bad as it does with a lot of American TV. But I feel that with anime, you get some of these more crazier ideas and crazier stories and this more interesting way of looking at things animation-wise. And I think Kiznaiver really signifies that. It's really not a particularly complicated show, although you think it would be. It brings up a lot of interesting things, and I think it always does it in an intelligent way. And I think it really is an anime that really, it's not perfect by any means. It does have some problems, but I think it really is something worth watching and worth checking out and worth just taking a few minutes to sit back and think about it and be entertained by it. If you told me that you watched this and you didn't like it, I would not disagree with you. I could understand, and I do understand, that this series is not for everyone, and I'm not going to be one of those like Evangelion fans where I'm like, you don't like it because it's too smart for you. I'm like, no, I can totally get how this type of series would not be for everyone. Again, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm kind of going all over the place. It's a slower series than you'd expect, especially at only 12 episodes. The directions it go in, you will imagine a more exciting set of directions in your head. And also, again, it is very quirky, and it goes for some very strange little ideas, and not everything's going to work for everyone. But for me, this is my kind of series. This does what I like to see, and it goes into things that I find really interesting, like the cerebral. I guess that's a good segue into the plot. It's already been 3 minutes. Basically, Kiznaiver revolves around these 7 teenagers living in what they think is a normal city, living what they believe is normal lives, with the exception of our lead protagonist, Katsuhiro. Katsuhiro, if you couldn't tell by this picture, is kind of odd looking, and that's actually because he doesn't feel anything. He doesn't feel pain, or at least when he does, it has to be incredibly intense, and he doesn't really feel emotion, and he can't comprehend or understand emotion. And because he's the main character, we spend a lot of time with him, and immediately I can understand how people don't really find that interesting about him, or a lot of people didn't like him because he doesn't emote, he doesn't really take interest in anything, and at times he kind of comes across as a jerk, depending on what characters in this you like and all that. So again, I understand why that character's not well liked. But basically, him and all these other people, you have his one friend Chidori, you have the mysterious beauty Maki, you have the man whore Yuki, you have the weirdo Nico, the bully Tenga. Am I missing anyone? Oh yeah, there's the 7th guy, but he's actually going to be in the negative section. But basically, one day, these 7 kids, you actually don't meet the 7th one for a couple of episodes, get kidnapped and are put into and are basically given brain surgery against their will, turned into lab guinea pigs for something called the Kiznai Project. All of this is brought to us by Nico, the mysterious beauty, or that's how they marketed her. I think she looks kind of creepy, but essentially the way it works is the Kizna system links them together via their pain. And essentially they marketed this show pretty much just saying they're bonded by their wounds. Why? Because if you said anything else, you'd get too much into spoilers. And basically what this means is every time one of them is hurt in any way, shape, or form, the others feel it. And the goal to this, or at least what we're told, is they want world peace, see if they can link everyone together through this, and they're looking to see if through these 7, if this is a practical idea. Now, from the viewer's perspective, no, it's not. Even if you think this idea could be conceivable, it would never work. You could never get everyone together long enough to do the surgery. You would never, even if you did, life would just be miserable. Everyone's just feeling pain constantly. It really is this ludicrous, crazy concept, and the show acknowledges this. It never at any point, I think, tries to take advantage of the viewer's intelligence. It lets you know from the beginning, Nori and the rest of her minions, sort of, are crazy. This is insane. This would never work. This would have no practical applications. And because of this, the show has a very relaxed atmosphere, because throughout the series, the kids have to go through all these tests and experiments. It's never anything too violent and too dangerous, and allows for the show's really laid-back atmosphere to come into play. It's never too intense. It's never violent. It's never... Okay, it is dark. It is very creepy, but it never goes to that, like, really uncomfortable zone. Throughout the course of the series, you just feel like you're going on these adventures with these 7 kids, and it doesn't have to be this. You could easily have found other ways to get these kids together, but this creepy idea, I think, really does give the show a nice atmosphere to it. And there's a lot of really intelligent ideas at play here. This is less about plot, and the show runs more on emotion. Shows that run on emotion are not always easy to do. That's because when you do that, it means that you need to focus on writing more how the characters feel, and you don't have as much time to dedicate to your plot. And again, that is kind of a problem here. But for the most part, I thought all of the emotions was handled great. Every character is well realized, they're well fleshed out, they're simple enough for you to relate to them, but they are given their complexity, and they all have their likable moments. And one thing I love is that no one is ever perfect. Everyone has their good points and their bad points. We are all imperfect people, and the show wants to show that. It tells us this, and it demonstrates this. You will like and dislike everyone at different times. My favorite character had to probably be Chidori for 2 reasons. A, she's a cute redhead, and as we all know, I got a thing for redheads. And 2, I really enjoy this character. To me, I think is very relatable and realistic. She's been Katsuhiro's friend since childhood. Because Katsuhiro doesn't emote or have any reactions to anything, he actually doesn't really understand why she's around. And you get a lot of interesting scenes between the two, and her with the others as well, as she is this very kind, caring, likable person, very fun, very bubbly. And I really like seeing that, because I like having a character in shows that are this screwed up, that just is someone who, she has her faults, but she is just nice and good for the sake of being nice and good, and I really enjoy that. Everyone's lovable, and everyone is done very well. That was just my personal preference. But other than that, the majority of the show is predominantly... It's going through everyone's arcs, and it's predominantly got a lot of slice-of-life comedy. After a while, the Kizna thing is more just impractical for everyone. Again, obviously, 7 people versus 7 billion makes big numbers. But this show isn't perfect. I loved it. It's my favorite so far of the year. But I do know why some people had problems with it, namely the bad guys. Nori is well done. No one here is a 100% evil, wants to take over the world villain, but kind of the problem is I thought we never really went into them. We learn a lot about them, and they are very creepy, but they just kind of come in and out. They're not really there. I didn't really understand them necessarily. I thought their motives were kind of poorly shown to us, and also I would have just liked a more concrete ending as to what happens to them instead of just they're just kind of out of the picture and they're just not going to do this to anyone. Also, by the time the series is over, I'm really confused as to what the point to capturing our 7 characters and making them into Kisnas, or Kisnaivers, or whatever you want to call it, was. But again, these are nitpicks. Also, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I wish the ending had a little more pizzazz to it. I thought the ending, again, it didn't puss out. This was a show not about action or adventure. It was about 8 kids, if you want to include Nori, and how they learn to connect to each other and how our bonds are strove. And these are the things the show is meant to focus on. I just think the finale, for what it was kind of building to in the second to last episode, could have had a little more oomph. I'm not sure exactly what that has to be. That's just how I see it. But other than that, this is a show about emotion. It's a show about relationships and how we develop bonds and what does it mean to actually develop those bonds. And I thought that was just shown perfectly out of the water. I loved this show. Again, I understand why some people didn't. I just think it's great. Go check it out. Just if you didn't watch it this season, go check it out now. It's on Crunchyroll. It's on every anime site, I think. Just go watch it and tell me what you think. You can tell me that in the comment section below. What was your favorite anime this season? There were a lot of good ones. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe to see what we get in the summer.